Welcome back. So have you got your 10-step journey together? Right, I'm going to give you 10 items, one at a time, and I'd like you to place each item in order on your 10-step journey. All the 10 locations have got an item for each place. So if you're ready, the first item is a wallet. So imagine the wallet. Imagine it there at that first location. Put as much detail in as possible. So how big is it? What's it made of? Does it smell of leather? Is there a lot of notes spilling out of it? You know, use as many senses as you can. We experience the world through all our senses. You know, not just with your eyes. So use as many senses as you can when you place the item in your journey. Okay, now move to the second spot. And the next item is a snake. Have the snake interacting with the second place, you know, the second location, and fill in as much detail as you can. What colour's the snake? What type of snake is it? Is it slimy or dry and scaly? You know, what sound is it making? How do you feel about snakes? Are you afraid? So, okay, move to stop 3. And the third item is a screwdriver. A screwdriver with a yellow and black striped handle. Think about what it's doing there. Are you repairing something? Make it stand out. Maybe you see it as an animated screwdriver, you know, that's larger than life. So go to the next stop now. And when you get there, I want you to see a peach, the fruit. So how big is it? Can you feel it? Is it furry? Does it have furry flesh? Can you smell it? And the next stop is the 5th stop. And the item is a drum. Draw number 5 somewhere in that scene, in that location. It can be on the drum, but see it somewhere at that stop. Right, think about the drum now. Notice what type of drum it is. Is it a big bass drum or a small snare drum? What sound does it make? Is there someone there beating it? Or is it you that's making the noise? So moving on to the 6th stop. And the item is a book. So what's it doing at that location? How big is it? What's the title? Maybe it's your favorite book. Or is it a big leather-bound book like the spell book in Harry Potter? So you move on to the 7th stop and you see a piano. Now this should stimulate your senses. What's being played on the piano? And how does it sound to you? Is it a grand piano or maybe a small jazz piano? How does it fit into the area that you've placed it? Maybe it's on something in that location. Maybe it's a tiny little piano with a tiny little pianist. Be careful how I say that. So you have to move through the house next to the 8th stop. And here you have a goat. What on earth is a goat doing there? Use logic. Why would a goat be here? Maybe it's eating something. I hope it's not your curtains. Now at the 9th stop, you have a mirror. Where's the mirror positioned? Can you see yourself in it? Has it got a frame? If so, what does it look like? Take in the scene before moving to the 10th and final stop, where you see a tank. I'll leave your imagination to create that image, whether it's a military tank or a fish tank. You know, whatever springs to mind, make it as unusual so that it stands out. You know, is it making a sound? Maybe it's a fish tank and you can hear the waste pump. Or it's a military tank and it's firing its gun. Now, if you've associated each item into its location and really used all your senses and imagination, then I have no doubt that you'll be able to recall most, if not all, of these items in order. Now let's see how you did. Go back to your first stop. can you remember what you placed there? Was it made of leather? That's right, it was the wallet. Did you get that? As you move on to the next location, how do you feel? What can you hear or see? Is it moving? It's the snake. Now, the next location, what do you see? Are you repairing something? That's it, the screwdriver. Move on. And next you see, is it furry? That's right, it's a peach. Now to the next location. Now it seems to be very noisy. What is there here? Yeah, that's it, the drum. And it's the 5th position, so you can see the number 5 on it. So moving on to the 6th stop. And the item is a book. Carry on through your journey. What are you hearing as you get to your next location? Is it music? That's right, it's the piano that's playing. Move on to the next location, and there's something strange going on here. What can you see? Do you see a goat? Now we're getting near the end of our journey now. But who's that good-looking person staring back at you? Ah, yes, it's you in the mirror. And at the final stop, what do you see? A tank. So you see, by placing the items in the stops on a journey, it's easy to keep the order of the items. By digitally marking the 5th position, if I ask you to tell me the 6th item, you would just jump 1 step on from the drum and get the book. And if I ask for the 4th item, you'd just move back 1 step from the drum and you'd have the peach. I'm willing to bet that if I ask you to give me the list backwards, then you'd have no difficulty reversing the journey and reciting the items from 10 to 1 as you walk backwards through the journey in the opposite direction. Now, if you have a list of names that are not physical objects, then you can use the journey method to keep the order, but instead of trying to imagine the names in each location, you could place an associated image at each location on the journey. For example, if I wanted you to remember a list of oceans and seas like the Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Arctic Ocean, Arabian Sea, South China Sea, and so on, then you first come up with an associated image for each and use that image as a reminder. So the South China Sea may make you think of China tea and people drinking tea from fine china. And that is the image you could use on the journey. You just put it in the location. Then Indian Ocean, you might think of a Native American Indian in full headdress with a tomahawk dancing around the totem pole. Once you have all the associations and have created a journey with the same amount of stops as bodies of water, then you can place the associated images on the journey in order, with every 5th location digitally marked, and you'll find it easy to recall the information whenever it's needed. Now that you're getting used to the journey method for lists of things, let's move on to phone numbers. Now, before we can get to use the journey method for numbers, we get to make some associations for each number from 0 to 9. There are a few ways in which to do this. The first way is number shapes, for example. So the number 1 could be associated to a flagpole, 2 to a swan, 3 to handcuffs, 4 to a sailboat, 5 to a curtain hook, 6 to an elephant's trunk, 7 to street lights, 8 to snowmen, and 9 to a balloon and a string, if you'd like to do it that way. Another way of associating is number rhymes. So you'd have 1, gun, 2, shoe, 3, tree, 4, door, 5, hive, 6, sticks, 7, heaven, 8, gate, and 9, wine. Okay, I'm pretty sure you can come up with your own rhymes for each number. You can use any object that you choose, as long as when you bring that object to mind, immediately think of the number you've associated with it. I mean, my full list is 1, pencil, 2, dice, 3, stool, 4, cushion, 5, glass, 6, plane, 7, boat, 8 fat lady and a snowman, 9 planets, and for the 0, I have an angel. So once you've got this set, then we can move on to creating a journey to add them to. So write down the numbers 0 to 9 as a list and add your objects next to them. And when I come back to my next video, I'll show you how to position them so that we can remember phone numbers, either forwards or backwards. So until my next video, have a great day and keep being awesome.